Okay, we're gonna move on to the last recipe. This is usually where we bring up a dessert or something on the sweeter side. We're gonna make a small pivot here, and we're gonna highlight a really nice combination, actually, of sweet and savory. Make a really nice fruit-based salad, which I think is just perfect for the hot weather. Super refreshing, and sometimes, you know, at the end of the meal, you might want something sweet, but not like over the top sweet like a dessert. So introducing fruit, which I'm sure is a part of the Mediterranean diet as well. And we're gonna make a really nice salad with it.
Yeah, so the orange feta salad, again, we already know lots of plant foods, and we've already talked about the healthy fats, so the olive oils and nuts and seeds in this. And I sound like a broken record, but it's actually aligns with our cancer prevention guidelines, which is more plant-based, and also with our anti-inflammatory way of eating, which wants us to choose. So the anti-inflammatory way of eating isn't eating low fat or high fat, it's really choosing the right fat. And so the olive oils, the omega-3 fatty acid in the fish we just talked about, and the pistachios, which we'll talk a little bit more about in this recipe.
So you can do this with any fruit. And I think that's one of the nice things about putting together like a fruit-based salad, and not like your, I guess, your typical fruit salad that we think of, where it's just a combination of some, you know, leftover melons and watermelon, and that's pretty much it. Like, we want to add some character to it, and really just highlight the ingredient itself. So not too many ingredients. And we have a total of 4 or 5 ingredients here, and you can do this with any fruits. Okay, so when cantaloupe is in season, try cantaloupe, or peaches or apricots. You know, when maybe you go to a farmer's market or something local in the grocery store, give that a shot. Super versatile. We're going to be using oranges today because this is, it reminds me of like a Southern Italian salad where you would have maybe some bitter greens or fennel and some nice oranges or citrus to highlight. So we're playing off of that a little bit. And what I'm doing is I want to just cut the rind off of our orange. Now, again, you can just peel this. I think most of our peeling techniques, you know, might be pretty confident with that. I just am sort of making it a little prettier by removing that rind. And what I'm doing is just following the curve of that fruit with my knife to just take off the rind and to expose that really nice sort of orange flesh there. So just take your time and you can run it around. Unfortunately, a peeler does not work super well with citrus. This one is one you're gonna have to take out your knife for. But like I said, if you don't mind the rind on it, and just peel it normally. All right, so we have our peeled orange. And if you've taken off like a little too much of the fruit on like a peel like this isn't a lot, but if you've taken a little too much, squeeze that juice into like your bowl of where you're gonna put your fruit. And that way you don't lose any of it. Okay? And that's gonna be a great addition to your salad, or even if you want to just enjoy it on its own. And then at this point here, we can just cut it into some nice big rounds, or if you want it a little bit smaller, we can cut it into quarters. I'm gonna keep it nice and big, so nice big rounds. It'll look really nice on a plate. And some in advance as well. We don't need this much, but we'll make a big salad. All right, so we're ready to plate here. I'll put some oranges on there. And I have a couple of varieties. That's sort of the nice thing about too, with some of the citrus available. These are Cara. style orange. And then I have sort of your more common navel oranges. That difference in color, super presentable. And I know, we've talked about this before, so eating with your eyes, that little extra effort to make it sort of pop on a plate, go a long way.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. I was thinking about eating with your eyes. I was also thinking about taste changes. And so sometimes there's, a huge disappointment when the food doesn't taste the same. And so it's tapping into your other senses. So like Jeremy was saying, tapping into the visual appeal. And it probably smells awesome in that kitchen right now too.
I'm not going to lie. There are quite a few aromas, and it does smell pretty good. I just
So
don't
your
want-
nose hunger,
Nose hunger, there you go. Yeah. So we have our oranges, trying to get that lighting. There we go. And then I'm going to add some of the pistachios on top, like Daniela mentioned. And again, this, you can add any nut, any seed here. Pistachios can be a little bit expensive. So if you have, use what you have. If you have pumpkin seeds on hand, you have some almonds on hand, walnuts on hand to add a little bit of crunch, go for it. This is definitely very, very versatile.
What I did not realize about pistachios was that it's one of the most antioxidant rich nuts around. So good to have, but like you said, Jeremy, there are other nuts out there too, and seeds that you can incorporate for their fiber and protein goodness.
Yeah, absolutely. So we threw a few on here, and then maybe a nice little punch of, this is mint, but if you had some like basil or cilantro would work really well. What's your go-to herb, Daniela?
For me?
Yes.
Well, you wouldn't really use it in this dish, but basil probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, and fruit and basil, you don't think of it as a natural combination, but it would be really good together.
It would work too.
All right, so we have our mint on top. We're going to add a little bit of cheese on top of this as well. And again, this is where you can sort of use what you like, get creative. I like the addition of feta cheese, but you can add even like regular ricotta cheese, or even just grate some Parmesan or even a cheddar if you like on top of that. Let's do some slices. And this is that idea again of the sweetness from the fruit, a little bit of the sharpness and saltiness from the cheese.
And the Mediterranean diet does say to incorporate dairy and eggs in moderation. So the way you're presenting it on this plate, Jeremy, also shows that it's more abundant in the fruits and vegetables and the nuts, and then it's just some feta there to provide the dairy goodness.
Absolutely.
Calcium and vitamin D.
And then just a small drizzle of honey. This is sort of part of the dressing, right? But we're doing it sort of by hand. Just a small, you don't need a lot. Like that's literally dipping a fork in, and just looks like small little strands on top. And then maybe a little bit of olive oil to finish it off.
Can't forget the olive oil.
No, we're talking about.
And actually, some nutrients are better absorbed when you use it's in a fat medium. So there's probably a little bit of lycopene in that more orangey orange you have there, because the color can be a clue to the phytonutrients. So your reds and deep oranges might also have some lycopene, and that is absorbed better through an oil medium. And
there we go. There's a really, really nice, refreshing summer salad or warm spring salad with our orange and feta and some pistachio.